We're talking to Attorney Reggie Tongol, spokesperson for the impeachment court. Good afternoon, Attorney.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon
Hi,
sa inyong
Attorney.
lahat at nice to see you again.
Good to see you again, sir. Sir, pinag-uusapan na
Last
namin.
time I was here, last year pa yata.
Yes, sir. We remember, sir. Sir, we were just talking about yung the last 3 days. There was a lot of back and forth between the defense and the prosecution. And kahit pa paano si Presiding Officer Chis Escudero, was able to manage things. Pero to a certain degree, ito nga, we were talking about it. Parang may inconsequentially inordinate over-judicialization of the authentication.
Nakakahawa yung legalist, nakakahawa.
parang
Alam ko
certain
po,
point, medyo
naiintindihan
sumobra.
ko po yung sentimiento ninyo dahil marami rin nagsasabi sa social media na masyado daw maraming legal gobbledygook yung proseso
Yes.
ng impeachment.
Gobbledygook.
Pero sana maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan at saka kayo po na mga nanonood na ito po ang usual na nangyayari sa mga korte. Yes, alam po natin na sui generis ang impeachment court at so a public and political the meantime is yung rules on evidence po na ina-apply natin sa korte. Kung paano ko po explain yan para po siyang katsa, no? Yung rules of evidence po yung katsa at yung sinasala po lahat ng mga impurities po at yung lamang pong lalabas dun sa katsa, yun lamang po yung maaangat na mga bagay-bagay bilang ebidensya. So dalawa po kasi bago magiging ebidensya, isa po dapat maging credible po yung evidence. Yun po yung malalaman kung may base sa katotohanan, sa common human experience, sa sinasabi ng tao, kung talaga bang nangyari yun o hindi, kung may corroboration ba. Yung pangalawa po, dapat competent. Doon po sa competent pumapasok yung rules of evidence natin. So, kailangan makakita dyan yung sinasabi nyo kanina, narinig ko kayo, no? Yung authentication, kasi po, bago mag-ebidensya, kailangan i-identify, i-authenticate, at markahan. So, yung tatlong proseso po yun, dapat pagdaanan ng lahat po ng mga documentary at saka object evidence. So, kaya po, yung katsang yun, medyo mahirap mapiga po lahat po ng ebidensya doon sa katsaan na yon at mabagal at tedious at minsan boring po talaga sa normal na mga tao po yon, no? Pero for the meantime po, kasi wala tayong choice, yung ating Rule 39 po, yung Senate impeachment rules, ang sinabi, wala po kasing rules on evidence doon, ang sinabi na supportorily applicable po yung rules of evidence ng korte. Pero I think the senator judges as senators, they are also cognizant of that fact na baka sa susunod po na mga proseso ng impeachment, baka pumaamyendahan yung Senate Resolution 39 na yan at magpasok na rin po ng sariling rules of evidence para lang po sa impeachment. I think that is something to look at para po i-review rin po ng ating Senado. Para yung sinasuggest nyo po na hindi tayo mag-over-judicialization ng proseso, mangyari po yun at mapadali sa ating mga mamamayan. But for the meantime po, wala tayong choice. We are stuck with the rules of court po.
Mm-hmm. Well, sir, we understand naman po the need to authenticate talaga eh. That really is primary before anything else, diba? You need to authenticate the evidence. I think lang the point of concern among some people is yung pagburiri na sobra-sobra dun sa authentication issue na sa huli naman, gagamitin din pala ng depensa. A good example lang is day one. Isang oras po pinagtalunan yung simpleng correspondence between Meta and the NBI. Not even the video itself eh.
Yeah.
Just the correspondence between Meta and the NBI. And moving forward, ganun po yung with the other issues with regard to authentication. I understand po, although we're not lawyers, but if for example one side wants to in the end question the authenticity of the document or the evidence, then talagang bubuririin mo. Pero kung sa huli po tatanggapin mo naman, alam mo tatanggapin mo at gagamitin mo pa nga.
Do we really need to go through all of that?
Hindi, paintindi ko lang rin sa inyo no, na yung nangyari po nun, hindi pa po tinatanggap ng korte yon bilang ebidensya. Kasi po pagkatapos po ng presentasyon ng mga testimonya ng mga testigo, magpo-formal offer of evidence pa po yung prosecution at din po, pag natapos din yung depensa ng kanilang presentation, magpo-formal offer of evidence po sila. At dun sa formal
Feature.
offer po, mag-o-object pa po yung kabilang panig doon sa kung na-authenticate ba ng maigi yun o hindi po. So, tama po kayo, no? Merong mga objections doon na about sa authentication, pero hindi pa po talaga siya ebidensya hanggat tanggapin po sa formal offer. So, I know it's a very tedious thing at saka parang yung sabi nyo, tatanggapin din pala. Hindi pa po tinatanggap. Pinakita lang po, pinresinta lang po, yun po yung unang una at pangalawa pong ginawa, yung identification saka authentication, tapos minarkahan po. So, pero kung ebidensya na ba yan o hindi pa po natin alam kasi magde-decide
Yes, sir.
po yan ng korte
Yes, sir.
after i-offer.
Sir, I get what you mean, sir. What I meant was, for example, the defense, after raising questions about the authenticity, in the end also used the same video to show, for example, Zuleika Lopez. That's what I meant po.
Opo. Yun din yung pinabuksan nila na USB po, no? Tama po yan.
Ano po?
Attorney, hindi ba na-settle sana yan? Hindi siya kayang i-settle sana sa pre-trial? Kasi yun
Tama
yung
ka
pagkaintindi namin eh. Kasi lahat naman napanood yung video yan eh. Di ba
Tama
ganun
ka po.
kasimpleng ebidensya, hindi pwedeng sinettle na yung issue at the pre-trial?
Yan po, tama ka po dyan, Ma'am Ami. Pero I think when the proposal to stipulate on those videos and even dun sa mga markings nga po, hindi po nag-agree yung depensa na parehong dokumento at parehong video po ang gamitin. So, taktika po yun ng depensa. Kung bakit po yung rason na yun, bahala na po sila mag-explain sa inyo. Pero ginagawa po talaga yun, no? Na talaga pong maaari ka talagang hindi mag-stipulate. However, moving forward, I think the presiding officer is also mindful. And siguro if there are evidences, I talked to him about it and then he was telling me na he might ask the parties next time kung medyo wala namang ganong question doon sa isang dokumento na yon or medyo minor lang yung document na yon, he will be actively asking the parties to stipulate on the matter on the authenticity and execution of that exhibit para hindi na po ganong katinis yung pagtatanong sa authentication. So I think on that, malilesa na mga 5 to 10 questions at least on
5 to
that
10
matter lamang
questions.
po.
Hindi, meron namang isang bago kami narinig, ano? Isang
20
bago.
minutes lang yun
Yung Oplan Romanov. Yun lang naman yung bagong narinig namin doon. Is the defense planning to pursue that issue pa? Kasi kailangan yun, hindi ba? Yun, dapat i-authenticate yun. There's a threat. Dapat hindi ba merong investigation yun? Meron ka na report? Balak niyo ba i-pursue yan next week?
Hindi ko po alam sa depensa pero nabanggit po nila yan.
Ano kayo? Prosecution?
Hindi po ako prosecution. Court
Sa
po
impeachment
ako.
court siya.
Sa court.
Hindi po kasi to parang Ma'am Ami, hindi po active ang korte. Passive po
Yeah.
ang korte. So makikinig lamang po siya sa parties kung ano po yung ebidensya. Yung nabanggit po yung Project Romanov po na yon,
Yeah.
parte po yun nung speech na ipinagkaloob po doon sa depensa. Dahil naalala nyo po, may 5 minutes din na nag-opening statement si Atty. Ligutan. At so, dahil doon po sa parang sort of opening statement niya po, pinayagan din po yung depensa na magkaroon ng ganun din po. So, as a matter of courtesy lang po, dahil nangyari na, nasabi na.
Oo.
So, doon lamang po nabanggit yun,
Yeah.
pero hindi pa po yata siya ebidensya. If ever
Yes.
po, I think the defense will put it on evidence kapag nakaupo na po yung mga testigo nilang sarili.
Yeah, we understand that. Attorney, can I come back to the video because I'm still not 100% on it. Do you mean to say, because now it's the prosecution's turn to present their witness, so present nila si NBI agent Kalilong, tapos yung evidence is the video, because the defense also cited the same video as evidence, do you mean to say there's another round of debating over this video?
I think pinamarka, if I'm not mistaken,
the defense
parang...
will get a chance to present their witness, and di ko lang sure if common witness itong si Agent Kalilong.
Opo, according po sa pre-trial order, he is a common witness. He is also being called by the defense.
He is a
Nilista rin
common witness.
nila yun.
Kaya nga, so ibig sabihin nun, may isa pa pong round of questioning
Interrogation.
him? Of interrogation?
Masama na tono ni Reg.
That's a fair conclusion base po sa
Oh my God.
Although they could waive it naman. They could waive it naman if
Ano ba?
they don't see the need anymore.
They can leave it, yes, pero they can also call him
Yeah,
back on.
they can.
Tama?
Tama po. I think they're going to call him as a hostile witness po.
And then I think they are, because he is a common witness. You're correct. I just saw my list.
Correct, yes.
And then remember that the defense was complaining about the 2-minute that the prosecution wanted to show. They wanted the whole context of it. Is
They
there
want to show the 2 hours.
is there a scenario here where they have to show the whole 2 hours?
Pag nagpresenta na po yung depensa, I think yun po yung dun sila papunta ka kasi based sa mga sinabi po ni Michael Powa, yung isa po sa defense counsel at spokesperson sa kanya mga interviews na minomonitor ko po, sinabi po niya na parang they decided along the way po na hindi na nila ipakita on the second day yung na yon, yung testimonya na yon, yung 2-hour video na yon, dahil they also may chance naman silang gawin yon when it's their turn to present their witness. So I think yun po yung strategy na i-employ po nila.
Yes, sir.
Kaya for
But I
the
think, sir,
meantime, na-save nila tayo for watching
for
the
the
2
2
hours.
hours. Yes, sir. But I think what Reg is asking, sir, is when it's the defense's turn to present evidence, do they have that option? Do they have that right? I suppose is the question, to show the 2-hour video if they so want to.
Yes po.
Oh
They
my
do.
God. So there could be another round of this.
Attorney,
longer.
sabi ni Senator Sherwin, pag-uusapan daw kung ano ang pwedeng gawin para medyo mapabilis yung trial and to make it more understandable to the people. Ano kaya ang posible? Ano yung nakikita niyong mga specific measures na pwedeng gawin?
Isa na po dyan, no, yung request ng prosecution na gamitin ang Filipino at saka English po interchangeably. If they want, pwedeng puro Tagalog po. Usually po in the courts, it's only English. So I think mainam po yun para magamit po yung ating lengguwahe para mas maintindihan. Ang magkakaroon lamang po tayo ng problema dito is hindi po minsan walang equivalent yung mga legal terms sa Tagalog
Yes.
po. Right? Sa pina duces tecum, wala pong equivalent po yun.
Di sabina na lang, pare-pareho lang sa amin yun.
Opo. So, pangalawa po, yung nasabi po sa akin ni presiding officer na we are going to sift through all the documents and then tingnan kung ano po yung mga pwedeng mag-stipulate na lang po yung parties. So, I think that's a usual court management process na naman na ginagawa in ordinary courts. Usually, the courts will ask, can't you just stipulate about this? Gaganunin po kami ng mga korte. So, I think yun po yung isa sa direction that will cut the authentication of the documents. Remember po na the evidence are composed of around 4,000 documents, pages of documents. So, talaga pong kung iisa-isahin po yun na ganun ka-tedious po, talagang ubos na po yung oras. Tama po yung obserbasyon ninyo.
Attorney, can you explain to us again what's happening to the green BIR box? So, sinoli na sa BIR.
Opo. So, wala
And
na pong
then
green BIR box tayo pag-uusapan.
Pending either side sabinaing it again?
Actually po, nag-request na po ng subpoena yung prosecution. Binalik po yung box kasi wala pong custodia legis dyan ng ating impeachment court because it was acquired and was possessed not through a legal process. It was just talagang tinransfer lang po yung possession, yun lang po. Pag sinabi po natin legal process, dapat po may warrant of seizure o kaya naman po merong subpoena duces tecum. So outside of those processes, the box or the property cannot be entertained into custodia legis. Kaya binalik po. So now, whatever is inside the box, hindi po natin alam. So however, the recourse of the prosecution was to request for a subpoena duces tecum, which last Monday, the presiding officer was already ready to issue. Nakaslagay na po yun, handa na po namin yung subpoena. However, the last minute when House Prosecutor Jokno was manifesting and was asked about it, he manifested that they amended their request to include more specific details. Kaya po doon napunta yung paghingi naman ng depensa ng pagkakataon na makapagkomento. At yun po rin yung pinagbigyan at pinag-agrihan na magkakaroon din ng oral arguments sa Wednesday. So as of now po, naka-request na po yung subpoena and the parties will give a memorandum on Monday ng legal memorandum nila on their respective positions why or why not the subpoena should be issued, and then on Wednesday po they are given 10 minutes each side with 3 minutes rebuttal to argue their positions po, and then after that dun po magde-decide kung i-issue po yung subpoena o hindi.
May isa pang observation, attorney, na baka kinoconsider na rin ngayon ng liderato. Sabi nila baka daw dapat si Senator Win Gatchalian umupo na lang doon sa tabi kasi nagmumukha daw siyang flower base doon sa tabi ni Chase Escudero. Is he considering that na medyo tumabi-tabi muna siya?
Actually po, yung optics na po yan ay hindi na po lingid sa inyong kaalaman. Nangyari na rin po yan. No? It is actually giving respect to the position of the Senate President as the head of the legislative body of the Senate, at saka siya po yung gumagampanan ng legislative functions. Habang yung hat naman po ng pagpe-preside sa impeachment court, si Presiding Officer Escudero naman po yung gumagampanan nun. So I think yung pag-optics na po yan, we shouldn't see it as a negative but a positive testament to both the Presiding Officer and the Senate President, because it takes a strong man to really admit na yung core competencies niya nasa legislative po, at saka yung division of labor po nila nandoon sa bawat areas of responsibility po nila. So I think it's a testament. It says more good and positive about Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian than negative. Kasi po, yung ganun po, parang ano na lang po yun, party na po yan. Kung bumaba naman po siya doon, i-attack din naman siya, sasabihin, bakit mo naman give up yung position? So either way po, whether you do it or you don't, talagang people will have something to say. So I think he's just taking it on the chin and he's riding yung current na mga memes sa kanya, and he's in good attitude about it.
Well, to be fair, we also saw the same thing nung impeachment ni ERAP. You had Chief Justice Hilario Davide seated beside Nene Pimentel. Although, of course, in this case, you now have two senators. Now you have two senators sitting. Is it the rostrum or the podium?
Dagdag ko lang rin po, Reg, Ma'am Ami at Edno. Dagdag ko rin, matatandaan natin sa ating konstitusyon na hindi lamang presidente at vice-presidente o chief justice ang mai-impeach, pati po ang mga miyembro ng mga constitutional commissions. So iisipin po ninyo, hindi po naman kailangan lahat ng mga impeachable officers na yung kailangan Senate President yung mag-preside over the matter. Kaya nagkaroon po ng pag-amyenda ng Senate Resolution 39 to give a leeway na parang kahit sinong ordinaryong senator po, pwede pong umupo as a presiding officer without the Senate President being there or presiding over the matter. Kasi hindi naman kailangan laging ganun ka-important o yung yung mga kaso na magiging impeachable po na case din sa Senate.
The
Under litigation yan, ha?
talking about the rules, what is there any plan to discuss again the motion to allow the incapacitated or detained senators to participate? Na-bring up na ba ulit yon?
Hindi pa po, Ms. Reg, no? Kasi I think the presiding officer's view at the time was that it's not the impeachment court who should decide on the matter, but the Senate as a legislative body. And the Senate as a legislative body hasn't really met about it because wala pa pong regular na session. And I think yung nagpupush po niyan is yung mga minority senators through a letter that is being circulated. But the majority senators, hindi pa po nila sure, one, kung tama po ba yung gagawin nila. Pangalawa, at kung paano po gagawin yun. Through a letter lang ba o kailangan ba ng parang Senate resolution na parang sentiment of the Senate? Is it that formal? Kasi it's like an official collegial body, a branch of government talking to another branch of government, which is the judiciary or the Sandigan Bayan. Ganun lang communication that will entail. So they are still unsure about it, and I think it's still not on their top priority for the meantime. Kasi ma'am, alam niyo naman po, tayo, mga abogado, 4 na taon namin ito nag-review kami sa mga gantong mga court hearings. Habang ang mga senator judges po natin, crash course talaga sa kanila po to. So I think ang concentration po muna nila is to really read up on the law and the rules, and then yung mga daming ng mga ebidensya na nandoon po sa impeachment court para busisiin po nila. So I think dun pa lang ubos na po yung oras nila kaysa po intindihin pa nila yung mga iba nilang kasamahan kung makaka-attend o hindi. So I think they're tabling it for now at they will just, pag medyo they get the hang of things already dito po sa korte, baka dun po nila isingit na lang po sa schedule nila. As a caucus po siguro sila.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But that's clear. They can only change it once they meet as a legislative body, hindi not during the impeachment court.
Opo.
Sir, another non-lawyer question.
Kasi crash course din kami, di ba, attorney? In the rules of court.
Yung
Nambubis ka lang
controversial
kami.
po na tanong ni Senator Risa Ontiveros nung Tuesday at nung Wednesday, ang lakas po ng feedback coming from the defense and also from the Senate President and some of her fellow senator judges. Although to us non-lawyers, parang it did make sense to ask that question. That question being, so hindi mo napatunayan so far na may nakontratang ang assassin, what makes it an impeachable offense? To us kasi it's a natural question to ask at any point in a discussion. Of course, to a lawyer it's a different thing altogether. But what makes it a red zone for lawyers?
In fairness naman po kay Senator Risa, syempre she's still brushing up po, at napakaganda naman po yung ginawa niya. However, in a court proceeding po kasi talaga, bilang mga hukom po kasi, bawal ka mag-ask ng mga conclusory matters po mula doon sa mga parties. Ang pwede mong nyo lamang pong tanungin ay yung mga clarificatory questions ukol dun sa mga ebidensya. So, bubusisiin mo lang yung ebidensya, pero bawal ka pa pong mag-conclude ng, kunwari, A plus B, hindi mo pa pwede pong i-conclude yun is equal to C. So, dapat tingnan mo lang yung A, tapos tingnan mo lang yung B, tapos ikaw as senator judge, ikaw yung magko-conclude nun. Hindi mo po pwedeng itanong yung conclusions sa both parties. Kasi parang yun na po yung tinatawag na summation po nila or yung final argument po nila. So, I think yun po yung nasa birthing pains pa po tayo dahil syempre mga senator judges natin, they're still getting acclimated to how the court processes are. So, hindi naman po pinupulaan natin ni presiding officer si Senator Risa, pero minsan kailangan lang po ng guidance ng mga senator judges na kung hanggang saan lamang po yung limits nung pwedeng tanungin. Because we don't want the the parties making their arguments nang wala pa po sa tamang oras.
Okay.
Remember, Ed, A plus B is not C.
Ah.
Hindi pa pwede yun.
Conclusory, okay.
Conclusory.
Conclusory question. I get that, sir. Okay.
But at the same time, again, we keep coming back to the idea that this is sui generis, and we don't also want to over-judicialize it such that every single move, every single question becomes, judicial. And as a lot of people have pointed out, Attorney, yung tanong ni Senator Risa is also the question on a lot of people's minds. So if we want to make this make this a process that's easier to understand for the ordinary person, wouldn't you allow that question? Because of course may motion to strike it off the record, di ba?
Tama po kayo, no? Ang nangyari po kasi is parang nabigyan po ng unfair advantage yung prosecution kapag magbibigay na sila ng ganong conclusory or argumentation nang wala po yung kabilang panig. So nung nagbigay po ng sagot yung prosecution, kaya sinabi ni presiding officer, sige, bigyan na nga rin namin kayo ng panahon para magsalita rin about it, yung depensa. So yun po yun. Kasi po hindi pa po ripe sana yung ganun na mga tanong. So yes, naintindihan ko po na to an ordinary person, yun po kagad yung tatanungin. Pero usually po kasi sa batas natin, you reserve it at the end po. So I think it's a matter of just being acclimated doon sa processes po. Talagang ang batas po natin mabagal po talaga mag-adapt, mabagal ang proseso. Hindi po mamamadali na parang kailangan ano na nga yung ibig sabihin yan. Hindi po kami ganun sa korte. So I think yun po yung balancing act that the presiding officer has to do. Kaya medyo mahirap po talaga yung tricky yung pagiging sui generis na parang not being legal but not also being not legal. So I think in the future po, that's one of the things that we have to sharpen in the rules. Kung ano po yung mga pwedeng mga rules on evidence, rules on questioning na pwedeng ilagay na po spesifiko dahil nasa kapangyarihan naman po ng Senado yan. Para sa susunod, mas madali na po yung impeachment.
Attorney, babawasan daw ng husto ni presiding officer yung mga motion to strike off the record. That's within his authority, no? Pwede niya
Tama
talagang
po.
bawasan.
Tama
Pwede
po,
ba niyang
tama
i-bar
po.
completely na lang?
Actually
Yung
po,
bawal na lang.
wala po kasi makakapagpigil from the other party. Sometimes, as lawyers po kasi, we can be overly zealous in trying to put forward the cause of our clients. So, sometimes may blinders po kami sa ibang mga bagay at talagang nakatugutok lang kami dun sa goal namin na gawin, which is kung depensa ka po, sirain po yung testimonya nung prosecution. Kapag prosecution ka naman, to build up the testimony. So, yun po yung pagtatalo. Yung prosecution parang naggumagawa ng bahay, habang yung naman po, yung depensa, habang ginagawa yung bahay, sinisira niya naman isa-isa. So, yung pagtutunggalin ng pagtatalo na yun, parang talaga pong makikita ninyo na medyo maiinit at medyo, minsan din boring din sa ordinaryo at paulit-ulit po.
So, babawasan talaga niya,
I
Aasahan
think yes.
namin yun.
Yeah, babawasan niya po yun.
Drastically cut.
Bibilangin namin, attorney.
He's still also getting the hang of things. Siyempre, nangangapa pa po yung bawat parties po, yung lahat po ng mga players sa impeachment court on how each one is doing their job or their duty. So baka next week po mas madali na po yan at next week baka mas mabilis na po kasi mas alam na nila kung pag yan ang tumayo, ganyan ang i-point out yan. Yung mga ganun po.
Out of curiosity, attorney, how does Senator Cheese Escudero think he's doing? And is he finding it easy, hard, complicated? Ano yung sentiment niya dito?
Well, he's always hard on himself, no? He tries to over-prepare because he knows that he's filling in big shoes. Alam naman po niya yung mga previous presiding officers are titans in the legal world. So, I think, alam niya rin naman yung place niya po in history. So, talagang parang he has to make sure na hindi niya ma-fail po yung responsibility niya na inatas po sa kanya. And of course, para lumabas po ng maigi yung ebidensya. So, lagi po siya nag-aaral, lagi po nanghihingi ng mga legal advice at legal briefers regarding certain issues. So, I think being over-prepared po is his best best way of dealing with things.
Attorney Zuleika Lopez was there yesterday at the Senate, and I understand also that the impeachment court has a subpoena for her. Was she served the subpoena yesterday already, or is it going to be a separate occasion altogether?
Yes. Yes, she was served with a subpoena yesterday sa office of the Vice President kasi doon po yung last known address niya. At na-receive po yun ng 1:10 p.m. kahapon after niya po pumunta sa Senado.
Okay. Do we know if she's coming on next week, or is that a big question mark?
Well, sa bata po ng impeachment court, she has no choice but to come because a subpoena po is a compulsory process.
It's mandatory.
So, of course, under pain of under pain of being held in contempt kapag hindi ka po sumunod sa order ng korte. So, we are expecting her to comply. Bilang abogado po, alam niya naman rin po yung kanyang karapatan at saka yung kanyang obligasyon bilang abogado at bilang tagasunod po sa compulsory process of a subpoena.
The respondent po, is the respondent ever required to attend, or can the respondent be issued a subpoena by the impeachment court to appear before the court at any point in the trial?
Ito na naman, medyo legalist po no, ang pagiging pag-explain ko dyan. Dalawa po ang school of thought dyan, Sir Ed. No? Ang unang school of thought dyan, ang impeachment court ay akin to a criminal proceeding. So, ibig pong sabihin nun, the respondent cannot be forced or cannot be made to sit as a witness or cannot be asked to go to court compulsorily. May school of thought naman po na nagsasabi na hindi po criminal ang penalty sa impeachment court, kundi removal lamang po from office. Kaya it cannot be considered as a criminal proceeding. Kaya pwedeng ipatawag as an adverse party witness ng prosecution ang vice-presidente. So, ang ibig sabihin po noon, pag pinatawag as adverse party, hihingi po ng subpoena yung prosecution para masabina po yung adverse party, which is the respondent Duterte.
So it's undecided, in effect. It's
isa po
untested.
yan wala pa pong motion naman, wala pa naman pong motion na ipasabina yung respondent Duterte ng prosecution. So wala pa pong aktong magagawa ang impeachment court, because as to the impeachment court, tapos na po yung act niya na pag-summons po, no? At nasagot naman na ng Vice Presidente yung summons na yon by filing her answer and having her defense lawyers appear physically before the impeachment court and participate. So as to the court, tapos na po yung pag-compel na yon. Wala na po siyang iba pang compulsory process unless it is moved by the parties.
Pero
Okay.
pag babasahin na yung ruling, yung decision, she has to be there.
Hindi po katulad ng sa criminal cases po, wala pong ganun din po. Opo.
Oo. Saka linawin ko lang yung conviction, it does not automatically mean she will be ousted from her position. Does it need a separate ruling na na-convict ka, tanggal ka as Vice President, o pwede kang ma-convict but you will stay as Vice President?
Yung ibig sabihin po ng conviction, yung guilty verdict po sa articles of impeachment.
Kailangan ba ng separate ruling na tanggal ka?
Yun na po
Or is
yun.
And you cannot hold public office.
Yes,
sabihin, you cannot hold public
tama ka
office
dyan, ma'am.
anymore.
Tama ka dyan, Ma'am Ami. Dalawa po ang penalty, no? Dalawa po ang penalty. One, kapag ikaw ay na guilty, ang penalty mo ay removal from office and perpetual disqualification.
Perpetual disqualification.
Opo, magkasama na po yun. Pero kunwari po, nag-resign po yung respondent Duterte, Pag nag-resign po siya, technically, wala na pong penalty of removal kasi moot and academic na po dahil
Oo.
naalis na nga po. Pero meron
Yeah.
pa pong, pwede pa rin magpatuloy yung impeachment proceeding because meron pang isang penalty, which is the perpetual disqualification.
Yeah.
So, dahil ginaya lamang po natin to sa US, yung gantong impeachment process, ganun po yung sinasabi ng mga authorities in the US na pwede pa rin magpatuloy yung trial even after the resignation of the impeachable officer.
At pwede siyang sabihan, di ka na pwedeng tumakbo ulit.
Tama ka po dyan.
Yan.
Tama ka po dyan.
Separate ruling yun, Separate
Tama ka
ruling
po.
yun.
Tama ka po dyan.
Okay.
Have you settled, attorney, yung question over Attorney Michael Poa being called as a hostile witness? Pwede ba yun? Because of course, he's on the prosecution's list of witnesses.
Wala pa pong patawag, wala pa pong sabina. However, meron pong nakalista po siya sa pre-trial order tsaka sa pre-trial brief. At medyo inobjectan na rin po ng depensa yon, no? So kapag sa punto na po na doon sa particular article, I think he's being called under Article 1 at saka Article 2 po, no? Pag dumating na po yung punto na yon, then Article 3. So pag dumating na po yung punto na yon, dun po isa-settle kung pwede po ba siyang ipatawag o hindi at kung anong klase po ang pagpapatawag sa kanya bilang ordinary witness po ba o hostile witness.
But
So
if
as
the
of now,
defense...
it's hard
But if-
to hazard a guess how the prosecution wants
But if
how
the
they want it to happen.
if the defense already objected to it, what are the chances na matutuloy pa, di ba?
Ma'am, I think based on the submissions of the parties and the answer, I think ang main contention is that it is whatever communication that the respondent Duterte and Attorney Poa had was covered by attorney-client privilege. So, however, we as lawyers, we know that invocation of the attorney-client privilege does not excuse you from being called as a witness. Unlike in the criminal case, kapag pinatawag mo yung
Oo.
yung accused, bawal po patawag yung accused to incriminate
May immunity.
himself, no,
Oo.
absolute. Pero pag sa attorney-client po, pwede po, and you can just deny answering the questions by invoking the attorney-client privilege. And not all questions po, only those pertaining to the privilege ang pwede mong i-refuse to answer. So as to him being called, he still will be called, I think, by the prosecution.
Oh, wow. Okay. That'll be interesting to see. Okay. We'll leave that there. Thank you so much for explaining all of that
Thank you, sir.
to us non-lawyers. Salamat. We appreciate your patience. That was Attorney Reggie Tongol, spokesperson for the impeachment court.
Maraming
Thank you,
salamat po.
Attorney.